2,000 years, the charge has been the same. Baptism was a Christian invention. So when the Book of Mormon shows prophets baptizing for the remission of sins 600 years before Christ, critics called it an anachronism. But the desert was about to give up a secret, because long before the Jordan, ancient Jews were already going down into the water while watching the sky for a Messiah. Ritual washing is older than Rome. Egyptian priests bathed each dawn in the temple's sacred lake. Greek initiates waded into the sea before the mysteries. And in Israel, archaeologists have uncovered more than 300 stone immersion pools, mikva'ot, many of them cut before the time of Christ, beside the temple steps, at Jericho, at Masada. Going down into the water was not new, it was everywhere. In 1947, a shepherd found the first of the Dead Sea Scrolls in a cave above the Dead Sea. They belonged to a community at Qumran, and that community was consumed with purity. Their community rule prescribes cleansing with water. Their ruins are honeycombed with stepped immersion baths. A whole society, 2 centuries before Christ, built around going down into the water. But they weren't only washing, they were waiting. That same scroll says they had gone into the wilderness to prepare the way of the Lord. The words of Isaiah. Preparing for what? The scroll answers they would keep their covenant until the coming of the prophet and the messiahs of Aaron and Israel. The people who never stopped washing were the people watching every day for the Anointed One, and they believed a greater washing was still to come. In that same rule, God promises that at the end of days, He will cleanse His people. He will sprinkle upon them the Spirit of truth, it says, like purifying waters. Water and Spirit and fire, written on a scroll a century before John the Baptist drew his first breath. They had not invented it. They inherited it from the prophets. Ezekiel had promised, in God's own voice, "I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean, and a new spirit will I put within you." Zechariah foresaw the day when a fountain would be opened for sin and for uncleanness, a future washing for the age of the Messiah. So when a man in camel's hair finally stood in the Jordan, no one asked what baptism was. They lined up, and John said his water was only the beginning. "I baptize you with water, but one mightier than I is coming. He will baptize you with the Holy Ghost and with fire." His whole rite pointed forward to a Messiah about to arrive. Now hold that against a book printed in 1829. 6 centuries before Bethlehem, Nephi teaches his people to be baptized, following the example of a Christ who has not yet come. Around 120 years before Christ, Alma gathers a covenant people at the waters of Mormon and baptizes them in the wilderness. "We talk of Christ," Nephi writes, "that our children may know to what source they may look for a remission of their sins." Baptism, centuries early, for a coming Messiah. It is the very pattern the scrolls revealed. Washing in the wilderness in expectation of the Christ. But consider the timing. Joseph Smith dictated this in 1829. The scrolls that confirmed it were not found until 1947, more than a century later. How did an unlettered farm boy know that ancient Israel went down into the water, watching for a Messiah who had not yet come? The words, remember who wrote them. Lights and Perfections.